Hey, today I'm putting in the Broan NuTone RVK1A roof duct venting kit, and I'm going to show you step by step how I do it. I do this every day, so hopefully it'll help you out, get you through it a little quicker, give you some pointers, make it easy for you.
Start by making sure you're not working on a flat roof. This roof cap is only designed for pitched roofs and should be installed with the shortest duct run possible for best performance. This kit is compatible with both 3-inch and 4-inch ducting. Let's do a deeper dive on how the neoprene strip works if you have a 3-inch connection on your fan.
So when you're putting in these bath fans, a lot of times you're going to notice that the existing fan that you have has a 3-inch duct output, meaning that it's an older fan. They back in the day were using 3-inch round ducts, and most fans nowadays are using 4-inch, and certainly this termination is set up so that you can connect a 4-inch duct to it. So they give you this nice little piece of neoprene so that you can stick it on the termination, and I'm going to show you kind of how this works. Now, you know, this is exactly the size 3-inch, and I didn't have the whole fan housing, but this is basically what connects to the housing, and you can see it's got the little damper, and so this is a good, example of how this is going to work. So the first thing that I really want to make sure that I do is I'm going to give it a little bit of a cleaning here so that I can get it so that it's dust free and everything sticks. Alright, so this is the neoprene strip, and this is going to add that extra inch diameter to the 3-inch term so that we can connect our 4-inch duct up to it. I'm going to show you what that looks like. And now I'm just going to take off the protective strip, and I've got now the sticky surface ready to go. And I know this is going to be kind of tight, so I'm just going to make sure that as I go around, and obviously, you're going to have some limitations in the attic, but I'm just going to stretch it out nicely and make sure that it gets as close to all the way around as possible. As you can see, we've got the 3-inch, we've got the strip around, it's adhered nicely. And you can see how the duct fits very, very snug right in and creates just a perfect opportunity to make a nice, tight seal here right at the edge. And I'm going to show you how I do that with one of these heavy-duty zip ties. This is a lot easier, of course, to do when you're sitting here in a controlled environment. It's a little harder in the attic, but it can be done. It just takes a little time and patience. And we just want to clamp it down nicely, make sure everything is aligned. And I can already feel that this is getting nice and snug for me. And I'm going to use the tension tool. And just give it a little bit of a clamp down and get that cleaned up nice, and that feels really good. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to use the aggressive foil tape that I love. And one little tip here, just cut yourself small pieces, especially when you're working in the attic. That's all you need. If it's too long, then it's going to get a little bit stuck on things easily. It's going to be harder to control. And we just want to create a nice sealed connection by adding a few pieces of tape all the way around. And there you have it.
Time to get back to the next steps. Start by drilling a minimum 4.5-inch hole. You can do it from the roof or from the attic. You have to go through all the layers, shingles, plywood, and anything in between. Here's a pro tip for you. Identify the fan's discharge location inside the attic first. This helps ensure your roof hole aligns with the duct path, avoiding a messy misalignment. Next, take the 4-inch metal duct connector and line up the V-cut edge under the notch section of the roof cap opening. Rotate the connector a full 360 degrees until it locks securely into place. Insert the assembled roof cap and duct connector into the hole you cut in the roof. Make sure the fit is snug. The roof cap includes a built-in backdraft damper, an often overlooked feature. It stops cold air, pests, and moisture from coming back into your home. Shingles are nailed down well. You should have a painter's tool and a small pry bar to gain access. These tools make it much easier to do this part. Now trace the outline of the Broan NuTone roof ducting kit cover on the shingles, but not to the flange. Instead, be sure to only cut to the hood. Trim the shingles so they fit tightly around the hood of the roof cap. Like you see here, the shingles should cover the flange. Nail the flange to the roof under the shingles on both sides. Apply roof cement over the top and sides of the cap to seal the shingles in place. Be sure to seal all nail heads with roof cement to prevent leaks. Most roof leaks from fan terminations don't come from the vent itself, they come from missed nail heads or poor sealing around the flange. Take your time here. This is one of those details that separates a temporary fix from a professional grade installation. Once that's done, you can head back into the attic and get things connected. I recommend heavy-duty zip ties and this aggressive threaded tape. Be sure to seal all interior duct connections with foil tape and never tee two fans into one termination. Always vent separately. And that's how you install the Broan NuTone roof ducting kit the right way. Airtight, watertight, and built to last. If you found this helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more home performance tips, step-by-step guides, and insider insights to make your home more comfortable and energy efficient.
All right, well, I put a list of questions together here that I get from homeowners from time to time, guys that I work with in the field, even questions that I've asked myself at times. Can I install this kit from the inside of the attic instead of going on the roof? The answer to that, plain and simple, is no. You must get on the roof if you're going to seal things properly, if you're going to be able to make sure the shingles are in place and make sure that things don't get hairy for you down the road. The second question I get is, can I use this kit with a 3-inch exhaust fan? So the answer to that is yes, and I tried to address that in depth in the video. Now, there's two ways to go about it. You can utilize the neoprene strip that comes in the kit, or you can you can get a 3 to 4-inch adapter, and you can do it that way. So either way, you need to be prepared to transition your 3-inch termination on your fan to a 4-inch, because the end termination at the roof, the kit itself, the piece that comes out of the roof is a 4-inch connection. So you cannot adapt that 3 to 4-inch up there at the roof. Another question or things that I see in the field a lot is, can I have my two fans venting together to one termination? And the answer to that is no, you should not do that. You want to have each of your fans venting to the outside on their own. Let me give you one example. So early on in my career, when I first moved into my house, we were hot and we decided to get some work done in the attic, and I had just gotten into this line of work. So the company that I was working for at the time, they sent their crew out and I had to get mechanical ventilation. So I was, dealing with getting new bath fans, and they were venting them to the outside so I could get rebates. So I kind of went through the whole program myself early on. And what the guy did back then is he took a shortcut and he connected my two fans together through one termination. Well, guess what happened? The master bathroom, which was connected to the hallway bathroom, and we have two growing boys, so every time one of them did their business, we could smell it when the fan was running. And whenever we took a shower, we'd go in their bathroom and their mirror would be humid. So Each fan needs to be independent of one another, and each fan needs to be venting out by themselves. What if my fan is super duper far from the roof? Can I extend it? Well, the flexible ducts, they run 25-foot lengths. You want to make the run as short as possible. And, you know, if it's a really far reach, then you may even want to just consider going out through one of your gable walls. If, you know, you're talking about having to extend it, I wouldn't really go past 10 feet. Because if you think about it, you know, maybe the height of the peak of the roof is about 10 feet in some houses, the max. Sometimes it's a little bit higher on really big houses, but everything is coming down. So there's usually a spot at least within 10 feet of where the fans are for almost every house I've been in. But yeah, I'm sure there's certain circumstances where things are a little bit out and you can make, you know, adjustments. However, always want to take the shortest path to the outside, even if it means running it along the ground or the attic floor out to the gable wall. Do I need to insulate the duct in the attic? Well, the answer is you should, yes. Now, if you're in a super duper cold or humid climate, like me in Maryland, we have a little bit of everything. You know, you definitely want to make sure than if you're just in some type of a climate where things are a little more steady, maybe San Diego. But for sure, you want to make sure that any part of the duct that's going to be above your insulation line, it does get wrapped and insulated so that when you do have warm air from a shower going up through a duct in a cold attic, you're not going to get the possibility of condensation, especially if the fan is running for extended periods. Or if you do have, you know, hard metal ducts, that's going to make it even a little more susceptible. So yeah, why take any, you know, chances? Anything above your insulation line should be insulated. And they have sort of like a silver insulation wrap you can use. They also have pre-insulated duct, 4-inch, 6-inch, where you can actually get it. It has sort of a jacket, a silver jacket on it. I've used that a number of times. So anyway you get there, you just want to make sure that you do insulate anything above your insulation line. All right, how do I know if I go to all this trouble to put this darn Broan, you know, roof termination kit in that it's actually working? Well, how do you know? Well, you know, there's a couple ways. First, you know, you plug everything up and then you, for the last time, you get up on the roof, you turn your fan on, get up on the roof and you check the damper. And there's even a part of the video where I think I even show what that would look like. It's, you know, well, but the fan I had in there was sort of a slow ramp up, so it sort of went to like, but I suspect that if you have a Broan fan in your house right now and you flick it on, that thing should just pop right up. So that's a visual. You can also have, do the toilet paper test where you could put the toilet paper to the fan on the inside, and chances are that if the fan is getting stopped up or the damper's not opening and the air's not evacuating, then that paper towel or that tissue is going to fall. The airflow isn't going to be where you want it to be. I've actually observed that in new fans that I put in, where if there is some type of obstruction, something preventing the air from going all the way out, well, guess what happens? The fan, I feel air kicking back. It makes a rattling sound. So I'm sure there are going to be other clues if it's not working, but obviously the best thing to do is get your eyes peeled on it. All right, last question. How do I know that I sealed my roof so I don't get leaks? And you know, the other angle, as a contractor, people are terrified of us putting holes in the roof. But one thing I learned, I'm a former roofer. I didn't do the work myself. I was managing projects, but I had to understand the roofing systems and how they work because, yeah, I mean, things go wrong. You get leaks, you get problems. Usually what I did find, though, is any type of a roof leak that we were going out to check on after we replaced a roof, it was usually around some type of penetration where maybe a guy forgot to caulk, or maybe there was a nail or two they forgot to, But the point of all this is roofing, shingles, everything is designed for water to roll down. As long as you don't get water coming upwards, then chances are, getting a roof leak, unless you have something that's not sealed properly, is very rare. So where am I going with this? You just have to make sure that you get that roofing cement in place in all the right spots. You don't want to go crazy and get it everywhere, but don't be afraid to use it. and get everything sealed back up once you get the cap in place. But once it hardens and dries and everything is cured, then the water is going to roll down the roof on those rainy days. And as long as you've sealed everything nicely, even if there's a wind-driven rain on a certain day, there's pretty low chance that that's going to leak. Keep your eye on it. You're now familiar with where it is. You're familiar with what's going on up in that space. You can take a look at it from time to time just to make sure that your work is good. But I think you'll be okay if you follow the steps in this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.